Here's something that might surprise you. Something as simple as what you eat for breakfast could actually make a difference in your blood sugar and cholesterol levels. If you're dealing with metabolic syndrome, that's not a small thing. A high-fiber diet is one of the most well-researched dietary approaches for supporting metabolic health, and the evidence behind it is genuinely compelling. Stick with us until the end, because we're going to share one super easy breakfast habit that can give your fiber intake a real boost. No fancy ingredients required. Today we're breaking down some of the most practical, research-backed strategies around high-fiber eating, specifically how they may help with blood sugar, cholesterol, and waist circumference, which are the core concerns with metabolic syndrome. None of this is meant to replace medical advice or serve as a treatment. Think of it as solid, science-informed guidance you can start exploring with your healthcare provider. Before we dive in, if this kind of content is useful to you, hit the like button and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. And drop a comment below about your own experience with metabolic health. Seriously, we read them. The problem: why does fiber matter? Metabolic syndrome isn't just one thing. It's a combination of high blood sugar, elevated blood pressure, unfavorable cholesterol levels, and excess abdominal fat. Together, these factors significantly raise the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And one of the biggest dietary culprits? A diet loaded with refined carbs and added sugars, but practically empty of fiber. When you're not getting enough fiber, your blood sugar tends to spike after meals, your appetite is harder to manage, and your LDL cholesterol often creeps higher. On the flip side, research consistently shows that higher fiber intake is associated with better metabolic health. One meta-analysis found that people eating the most fiber had significantly lower odds of developing metabolic syndrome compared to those eating the least. Fiber works through a few different mechanisms. It slows digestion so glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually. It can bind to cholesterol in your gut, and it helps you feel fuller longer. The catch is that most people are only getting around 15 grams of fiber per day, when the recommendation is closer to 25 to 38 grams. Let's look at 6 practical ways to get more of it. Number 1. Start your day with oats. Why oats? Oatmeal has earned its reputation as a go-to healthy breakfast, and the science backs it up. Oats are particularly rich in a type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which forms a gel-like substance in your digestive tract. That gel slows the absorption of carbohydrates and can interfere with cholesterol reabsorption, both of which matter a lot for metabolic health. A systematic review of studies on oat intake in people with type 2 diabetes found that eating oats regularly was associated with improved glucose control and lower LDL cholesterol. These aren't minor effects. Oatmeal meals showed meaningful reductions in post-meal blood sugar spikes. Practical ideas. Try a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with fresh berries and a handful of walnuts. You're stacking fiber on top of fiber. Not a morning person? Overnight oats are incredibly easy to prep the night before. You can even blend oats into smoothies if you prefer drinking your breakfast. Barley, which contains the same beta-glucan fiber, is another underrated option. A barley vegetable soup or a cold barley salad is genuinely satisfying. One caution: go gradually with oats and barley, especially if you're not used to much fiber. A sudden jump can cause bloating for some people. And if you have celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, look for certified gluten-free oats and talk to your doctor or dietitian before making changes. Number 2. Beans and lentils, fiber-packed legumes. Why legumes? Beans, lentils, and chickpeas might be the most underrated foods in the metabolic health conversation. They're high in both soluble and insoluble fiber. They provide protein, and they have a low glycemic index, meaning they digest slowly without causing big blood sugar swings. In one randomized controlled trial, people with type 2 diabetes who ate a cup of legumes daily as part of a low glycemic diet lowered their HbA1c by about 0.5% more than the control group. They also saw blood pressure improvements. Across population studies, diets that regularly include legumes are linked to a lower risk of type 2 diabetes overall. Practical ideas. Aim to work legumes into your meals a few times a week. A lentil soup, a black bean chili, chickpeas tossed into a salad, or beans mixed into a stir-fry are all easy starting points. Even snacks like roasted chickpeas or hummus with raw vegetables can move the needle. Canned beans are completely fine. Just drain and rinse them to cut down on sodium. One caution: legumes can cause gas, especially if you're not eating them regularly. Start with smaller portions and work your way up. Lentils tend to be easier on the digestive system than larger beans. Drink plenty of water. If you follow a low FODMAP diet or have a digestive condition, check with a healthcare provider before ramping up legume intake. Number 3. Fill half your plate with non-starchy vegetables. Why non-starchy veggies? Vegetables like broccoli, leafy greens, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, peppers, and carrots are nutritional workhorses for anyone managing metabolic syndrome. They're high in fiber, very low in calories, and you can eat them in generous amounts without worrying about blood sugar spikes. Many of them also contain prebiotic fibers, like inulin found in asparagus, garlic, onions, and leeks, that feed beneficial gut bacteria. A diet rich in vegetables is consistently associated with healthier weight and improved metabolic markers. The fiber slows glucose absorption. The phytochemicals help reduce inflammation, which is often elevated with metabolic syndrome. And simply filling half your plate with vegetables naturally crowds out refined carbs. Practical ideas. Make vegetables a non-negotiable at every meal if you can. Toss spinach or peppers into a morning omelet. Build lunch and dinner around a big side salad or roasted vegetables. Keep raw veggies and a healthy dip on hand for snacking. You can also sneak vegetables into sauces, soups, and stews. Shredded zucchini or diced carrots disappear into pasta sauce without anyone noticing. One caution: if you have IBS or other digestive issues, some vegetables may be more triggering than others. Cooking them usually makes them easier to digest than eating them raw. Increase portions gradually and drink water alongside the fiber. Number 4. Choose whole fruits, especially berries. Why whole fruit? Fruit sometimes gets unfairly avoided because of its sugar content, but whole fruit is genuinely different from fruit juice or processed sugar. The fiber in whole fruit slows down the absorption of fructose, which means a much gentler effect on blood sugar. Berries in particular, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, are high in fiber. 1 cup of raspberries has around 8 grams, but relatively low in natural sugars. Apples, pears, and citrus fruits are also solid choices thanks to their pectin content, a type of soluble fiber. Berries have been studied for their potential to improve post-meal glucose levels and LDL cholesterol, likely due to a combination of fiber and polyphenols. And replacing cookies or pastries with a piece of fruit is an easy swap that cuts refined sugar while adding fiber. Practical ideas. Have a piece of whole fruit as an afternoon snack or after-dinner treat. Blend fruit into smoothies, but always use the whole fruit, not juice, to keep the fiber. Top Greek yogurt or high-fiber cereal with berries and a sprinkle of ground flaxseed for a breakfast that punches above its weight. One caution: skip the juice. Even 100% fruit juice removes the fiber and delivers sugar quickly. If you're managing blood sugar closely, particularly if you have diabetes or prediabetes, stick to lower sugar fruits like berries and be mindful of portion sizes. As always, personalize this guidance with your healthcare provider. Number 5. Swap refined carbs for whole grains. Why whole grains? Beyond oatmeal, the goal is to make whole grains your default across meals: bread, pasta, rice, and side dishes. Whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat, barley, bulgur, and whole grain pasta retain all parts of the grain kernel, which means significantly more fiber and a lower glycemic impact than their refined counterparts. To put it in perspective, brown rice has about 3.5 grams of fiber per cup, while white rice has less than 1 gram. Studies consistently link whole grain-rich diets with lower rates of insulin resistance and central obesity. One analysis found that these diets were associated with increased levels of GLP-1, a hormone that supports satiety and insulin secretion, along with lower HbA1c levels. Whole grains also contribute to better LDL cholesterol and blood pressure over time. Practical ideas. Start with simple swaps. Brown rice or quinoa instead of white rice. 100% whole wheat bread instead of white. Whole grain or legume-based pasta when you want pasta. Try a quinoa pilaf with roasted vegetables, a wild rice blend as a side, or a tabbouleh salad made with bulgur wheat. These aren't sacrifices, they're genuinely good food. One caution: if you have celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, stick to gluten-free whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, and buckwheat. And remember, whole grains are still carbohydrates. Portion size still matters for blood sugar management. Pairing them with protein and healthy fat like nut butter on whole grain toast or beans mixed into brown rice helps keep blood sugar more stable.
Number 6. Embrace resistant starch. What is resistant starch? This one flies under the radar for most people, but it's worth knowing about. Resistant starch is a type of carbohydrate that doesn't get fully digested in the small intestine. Instead, it travels to the colon where it feeds beneficial gut bacteria. For your blood sugar, this means it behaves more like fiber than a regular carb, without causing a glucose spike. Resistant starch is naturally found in legumes, green bananas, oats, and barley. But here's the interesting part. You can actually increase the resistant starch content of potatoes, rice, and pasta simply by cooking them and then cooling them in the fridge. Even if you reheat them afterward, the resistant starch remains elevated compared to eating them freshly cooked. In a clinical study, people with metabolic syndrome who supplemented with resistant starch for 12 weeks showed significant improvements in insulin sensitivity without major changes in body weight or blood lipids. That suggests resistant starch may have a direct effect on how the body handles glucose. Practical ideas. Cook a batch of brown rice or whole grain pasta ahead of time, refrigerate it, and use it the next day in salads or stir-fries. Make potato salad with cooled cooked potatoes, skin on for extra fiber. Dressed simply with olive oil and vinegar. Add a green banana to a smoothie, or look for green banana flour to use in baking. Roasted chickpeas and lentil crackers are also naturally high in resistant starch. One caution: same rule applies here. Introduce resistant starch gradually. Your gut bacteria will be actively fermenting it, which can cause gas if you jump in too aggressively. If you follow a low FODMAP diet, some resistant starch-rich foods like legumes may need to be limited or prepared in specific ways. Talk to your healthcare provider or dietitian. If there's one thing to walk away with, it's this: fiber is genuinely one of the most powerful dietary tools available for metabolic health. Consistently choosing high-fiber foods may help with appetite control, blood sugar stability, and cholesterol management. And the effects are cumulative. Small changes, repeated daily, add up over time. Now, here's that simple breakfast habit we mentioned at the start. Add a tablespoon or 2 of ground flaxseed to whatever you're already eating in the morning. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons delivers around 3 to 4 grams of fiber, plus omega-3 fatty acids. It's virtually tasteless. Stir it into oatmeal, mix it into yogurt, or blend it into a smoothie. And you've meaningfully upgraded your morning without changing much else. Studies have noted that regular flaxseed consumption is associated with modest improvements in lipid profiles and insulin sensitivity. Small habit, real impact. Let's pull this together. A high-fiber eating pattern isn't about following a rigid diet. It's about making consistent swaps toward whole, fiber-rich foods, oats, beans, vegetables, whole fruits, whole grains, and foods with resistant starch. These choices may support more stable blood sugar and healthier cholesterol over time, which are exactly the markers that matter most with metabolic syndrome. Spread your fiber intake across the day rather than trying to hit a target all at once. Increase gradually, stay hydrated, and pay attention to how your body responds. And if you have metabolic syndrome or any related health condition, please work with your doctor or a registered dietitian. These are general strategies, not personalized medical advice, but they are a strong starting point, backed by solid research. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more evidence-based nutrition content. What's your favorite high-fiber food? Drop it in the comments. We genuinely want to know. And if you have questions, ask away. We read every comment and try to address them in future videos. If you enjoyed today's video, check out our video on top 5 low glycemic breakfast swaps. It pairs well with what we covered here. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. References for all the studies mentioned today are linked in the description below.